Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick little overview of a fairly new video editing software called CapCut. And the reason I'm bringing this particular software up is because, one, it's a very powerful editor, and two, you can get it completely free. Now, much like some of the other ones that we've talked about in the past that are free, like HitFilm or DaVinci Resolve, this one does have paid upgrades, but this one has an amazing amount you can do without ever spending a penny. In fact, I have not purchased the upgrade yet at all, and that's on purpose because I want to show this without those. However, I probably will be upgrading this one because while I'm a Final Cut Pro editor and have been for decades now, this adds a lot of really, really cool things that you can do right out of the box without any extra plugins and things. And I'm going to show you that right now. So as you can see, it's a traditional video editor, the timeline at the bottom. You've got your player in the middle up here. Now I'm on a laptop, so this is really small. Normally this would be a lot bigger. To the right-hand side, you've got all your information for whatever you're working on. So this would be the project. This would be the actual piece of video. And if you had an effect, any of that information would be up here so that you can make adjustments to it. On the left-hand side, this is where you've got your bins, as well as all of your different effects from texts and stickers and transitions and filters, etc., all right inside of here, as well as your media. Now on the timeline here, I've already got my media put in here. It's just a video. And you can see we've already added a few effects into here. And up above here, you've got all your tools. So you've got your undos and redos. Then you've got your splits. Okay. You got your delete. You got your freeze, reverse, mirror, rotate, crop, and the pro features, which would be remove filter words. And we'll talk about some of that. Now over here on the other side, you've got things like add keyframes, because you can do keyframe editing. You got a record button to record things. You've got your turn off main track magnet. This is the snapping feature. And this is the linkage feature. And here you've got your preview axis. Okay. And then over here, this is how you zoom in and out on your timeline, just like so. Okay. And so let's take a look at this. Now we got a piece of footage in here, and you can see we've already got an effect on that, which we can look at the effects here. You can see your effects as well as your position, your blend modes, and everything else is built right in here. You can stabilize the footage. You can add noise reduction, and you can remove video flickers if you got that. Now these are pro features here, but that's not something you're going to need all the time anyway. You can also turn off the canvas if you want to. So for this effect here, what I'm going to do is I could click on this and I could make adjustments to it. You can see he's got the horns on there. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what we can also do is we can just get rid of the whole thing if we need to by simply going back, clicking on the footage here, and hitting delete. All right, so let's take a look at what you can do with this. Now, this is a traditional editor where you can put things together and add transitions in between and then add filters. But this one is meant for social media as well. So it's got a lot of really cool things that you can do, and I'm going to show you those. So right here, this is your media area where all of your items that you upload are going to be in here. You've also got your library of other things. Okay. Black and white stuff. You've got animations. You've got cutout texts. And this celebrations here, this New Year's Eve celebration. We've already got our footage in here, so I'm going to move on. You've got your audio. So here you can add music. They've got tons and tons of music already in here. Okay. You got your commercial music here. Tons of music in there as well. You got your sound effects. And then you can import into here. In the text area, this is where you can add all of your text. Now you'll notice you can add default text, but take a look at all the cool things that you can add in here with text. Tons and tons of different artistic things that you can add. So if you wanted to add one of these, you can just do that. You see what it looks like. So then when you want to use it, you just drag it in here, and now you got your text. If you click on the text, of course, you can come over here and you can make all sorts of adjustments to it. You can animate it. So let's see, we want to add an animation there.
A lot of questions such as what kind of...
Okay. So you can add all of that kind of stuff in there. And if you don't want to use any of that, you can always get rid of the whole thing. But you've got lots of different things you can do with that. And it's very easy to learn. I know I'm not going into detail because I just want to cover everything, but it's very easy to just go in, play, have some fun, and you can do some great things with this. You got all sorts of different styles in here. You got your text templates here. So these are all different types of animated text.
What kind of materials can you print with?
Okay. Subscribe.
What kind of materials can you such as what kind of materials can you print with? Such as what
so you can preview all of those. And then when you're ready, you can just drag and drop them in there to use them. You got all sorts of different fun things. I mean, look at this one.
Such as what kind of materials can you print with?
That is pretty darn cool. So all of that's built right into here, so you can add any of those. You've also got something called auto captions. Now this is something very, very interesting. This is not something you're going to find in any of the other video editors. What you can do is you've got your timeline and you've got your video in here. Well, you can click this button here, and in just a couple of moments, it's going to take the voiceover and it's going to turn it into text. And there you go. You've now got subtitles on all of your stuff here. Now, again, some of that's tough to read because of the location right now, but you can make all sorts of adjustments to this still. And the great thing is if you come to this one here, if you make any adjustments on here, it will actually change it to all of these. So if you change the color, if you change what it looks like, if you add a bubble, because you've got bubbles built into here. So if I click on the bubble, whoop, it's going to change that for all of them. Okay, you can resize these, you can move them around, you can do whatever you need to do in order to make it easier to read. Okay, and then it's going to do that to all of it in there. So it's that easy to pull up your script and get that subtitle on there. I mean, that alone is one of the coolest features in here. And then you can also load captions up if you want to. If you've got SRT files and things like that, you can upload those into here. You've also got tons of stickers that you can add into your videos. Just by coming in here, you can take a look at any of these. You can see there's a lot of cool stuff in here. All of this can be added into your videos at any time. I mean, just look at, and you can see like cover-ups. So all of these can be added in here, and you can have a lot of fun with this. You can do some really neat things. Look at these are some of the ones from the Apple stuff here. So just a ton of really cool things that you can do. I mean, look at all these in here. 3D emojis. Wow. So all of this can be added into your videos anytime. That's really, really cool. Now, the effects area, this is going to have a ton of effects that you can add to the video. And in fact, let's get rid of, by the way, if you want to get rid of anything on the timeline, you can always highlight it and hit delete, and it's going to go away. So now over here, you've got all of your effects. Now, some of these you'll notice say Pro, so you will need the Pro version, but many of them do not, so you don't necessarily have to have that. But I want to show you this because one of the most powerful things about this is adding these cool effects to your videos. And this is not something you're going to find in a lot of other video editors, but take a look at what you can do with this, okay? Look how fast it cuts him out of that background. I mean, that is incredible. It instantly cuts him out of that background and does that effect on there. And there's all sorts of fun effects you can do with that. And it's absolutely instantaneous. And of course, you can do this fun stuff like we did earlier. I mean, look at that. It automatically knows where the eyes are and does that. I mean, that's just shocking how good that is. And you got all sorts of things. You got your clone effects. You got your hallucinations. Okay. I mean, look at this. I mean, that's so cool. You got your different types of strokes. And it does that, again, instantaneously. You got your superpowers. Whoa, look at that. I might start using that. You got things like your glowing lines that you can add onto things. I mean, look at that. I mean, it just instantly knows what's going on. I mean, look at this. So just a lot of really fun stuff in here. You got your selfie stuff here that you can add in. Okay, you got your masks, so you can add different types of masks onto the faces. I mean, look at that. Automatically, you need to hide somebody's identity, you can do that. And going down here, you got your dark stuff here. So if you want to, the love devil there. Black tears. Crazy. And look at this one. This one's cool. And then, of course, you get your funny faces. Now, you see these types of things on TikTok all the time. And just look how instantaneous that is. You don't have to tell it where the face is and do anything with it. It just automatically does it. I mean, that to me is pretty amazing. You got your backgrounds here. I mean, look at that. Pulls them out of that background that quickly and that easily. That to me is just shocking. You get your mood stuff here, so you can add crazy little effects to things. Images, so you can add faces onto them. I mean, that is just shocking how good and quick that is. And you got some Christmas ones in here as well. I don't know. I guess that's the Grinch. Oh. I mean, that's pretty darn cool. You can come in here. Now you got your transitions. So we'll show a little bit of editing here. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to come in here to this middle of this shot here. And I'm going to hit B for blade. We're going to cut that. And then we'll grab the edge of this and we'll bring it over to here so that we've got a transition point from here to here. And now we can add some of the transitions in there. So you can see there are just a ton of these transitions that are built into this. And all you have to do is grab one, drag it, and drop it onto the transition point. And if you want to make it longer, you can do that. That's a really long transition. And again, there's just an absolute ton of these that you can preview and check out. And going down here, got your overlays. Nice and easy there. And looking down here, you got your movements. A swirl. You got your blurs, so if you want to do different types of blurs, you can do that. You got your basic transitions, so like the flips, blink. Let's see. Wipes. Got your light effects. So all of these, again, some of these are pro, but most of these are just built in, ready to go. Distortions, slides, split screens, masks. And then this one's called MG. I'm not sure what MG stands for, but you got like your cartoon effects, which I love these. I use these all the time in Final Cut, and these are just built right in. I don't even have to get plugins or anything like that. They're built right in. And then you got some social media ones that you can have some fun with. So all of this, again, just built right in there, ready to go. You've also got tons and tons of filters as well. And what the filters do is the filters are going to change the look. So for instance, this is a BW3 for black and white. So it'll turn it black and white. You get this one called Inception, which gives it kind of those funky colors. Bronzed. And again, we may want to go to John to see this kind of stuff here. Bronze. So you can see it gives him that bronze look. Warlock. There's lots of different filters in here to use. just to give it that special look. And you can see you've got the featured ones, but you've got portrait. So sun bath. Just kind of gives them a more sun-bathed look. Metal. A warm look. You got life ones here. Some different types of filters. Monotones. Okay. You got movie ones here. So this is, I'm not sure, Something's Kingdom. Budapest. Love City. Okay. Go into the retro area. Got a 1988 look. 1978 look. You can crush. Retro 4. So all of these just built right into here so you can get the exact look that you want. You got night scenes. It kind of gives it that more night look. Got your scenery here. So this is where you've got different types of looks for basically different types of situations with sun and snow and things like that. Got your food, which just gives you certain lighting effects that can be more pleasant for food shots and things. You got your styles here, so if you want to do some crazy styles, you can do that. Used to do that on the old video toaster back in the day. But all of this, again, built right in here. And then you've got your adjustments as well. So if you want to add a custom adjustment, you can do that, as well as import LUTs if you have any. And then over here, once we get into the editing process, over on this side where you've got your controls, you can do all sorts of things. Again, you can change your positioning and scale, just like so. Okay. You can move it around manually if you wanted. So if you wanted to do a picture-in-picture, for instance, we could do something like this, put this on top of this one, and then we could do on top of the other one there. And you got all sorts of controls that you can mess around with this. You can mess with the blending if you wanted to. Okay. Probably want to leave it on normal for that particular one. You can change the opacity of it. Again, you can stabilize the footage and reduce noise and things like that. You can come in here and you can do chroma key, and you can do auto cutout. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. So if you have chroma key, you're going to have the ability to do that. But what if you don't have chroma key? What if you just got this? So if we just got this, in fact, let's go over to this one where it's still full screen. If this is all that we have, well, we can still cut him out of the background. All we have to do is use the auto cutout. And there you go. He's now cut out of the background. I mean, look how fast and easy that was to do. Now it's going to mess up our stuff over here, so we'd want to just do it to this particular spot. But I mean, how amazing is that? There's no green screen there. That is just us cutting him out of that background just by pressing one button. That is incredible. Now under our audio area, this is where we can do things like fades in and fades out. We can do noise reduction, voice effects if we want. So for instance, I had the elf one on here, but you could change it to something else, make it deep. And of course, you can change any of that, you know, customize it for how you want it to really sound. But all of this, again, is just built right in there. You can do synth. This will be fun. So definitely a lot of really cool things that you can do. And of course, you can always go back to none and have it just be normal if you want to. You've also got your speed options here. So if you want to speed up or slow down, you can do that. Okay. And then we can play it back when it's slowed down. Okay. And that can be useful for certain types of things. Obviously not in this particular case, because we don't want to slow down an actual person and make their voice sound like that. But you can definitely speed up and slow down B-roll footage and things like that to make it do certain things. You got animation effects in here too. Now, you'll notice you've got in, out, in combo. So for instance, for our piece of footage here, if we wanted to have some sort of in animation, we could do that. Again, some of these are pro, some of them are not. We just click on that, and that's what the in would look like. So very simple to add those transitions into there very quickly and easily. Same thing with the outs. And then you can do the combos as well.
If you need a specialty part or design 3D printed, you probably have a lot of questions, such as what kind of materials can you print with? How long does it take to print my item? If you need a specialty part or design 3D printed, you probably have
just a lot of fun little things you can do in here.
If you need a specialty part or design, if you need a specialty part or design 3D printed,
and again, some of these are pro, but most of these are just built right in.
a specialty part or design 3D printed. If you need a specialty part or design 3D
And that's actually kind of cool.
we have a lot of questions, such as what kind of materials can you print with?
And then over here, you've got your adjustments, so you can add different types of adjustments. So your basic, so your auto adjusts, you got your, and that would be for color, by the way. That's a pro feature. You got your LUTs in there. You can turn off your adjustments. You can also adjust based off of hue, saturation, and lightness. So you can make different types of changes, and we're not really seeing a whole lot of change on that particular one there, but you can see on John now he's kind of much more pink. Okay. You can also adjust it based on curves. So you can do things like brighten up the bright areas and then darken up the darker areas to create contrasts. Maybe brighten up the middle a little bit. So you can kind of create your own in there. And you can do it based on the different colors. So if you want to bump up or remove the reds, you can do that. Same thing with the greens and the blues. So you can get your own custom look there based off of that. And you've also got color wheels, so you can do it based off of that too. So you can come in here and you can adjust based on the color wheels. Get yourself a very special look with that. So that's the basics of CapCut, a very, very powerful, fun program to use that will not only allow you to do professional video editing, but add a lot of the cool effects that people are expecting to have these days. And so I highly recommend you check it out. Just do a Google search for CapCut, and you'll be able to download it for Windows or Mac and start editing right away.